Because that's when they wanted to torture him, and that's when you drew the line.
Yeah, I said, guys, have none of you read the Geneva Convention? This is the way I said it. I said, are you seriously telling me that you have never read the Geneva Convention? We can't do that. It's a war crime. We can't do it. Oh, no. The president signed it, and the Justice Department said it's legal. I'm like, listen, I can read just as well as the next guy. And I'm telling you, this is a war crime. So of the 14 people that they asked to be trained in these so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, I was the only one who said no.
Were you surprised?
And I objected.
You were the only one? I mean...
Yeah, I was.
Really?
I was surprised because, yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because these guys were my friends. You know, our kids played together. Our wives were friends. We would barbecue together. These guys were my buddies. I didn't realize that there were monsters inside there. Like, have you thought this through? You're prepared to murder this guy in cold blood? You're prepared to hang him from a ceiling, you know, from an eye bolt in the ceiling, and beat him to death? Or force him to play Russian roulette? You're really on board with this? And they were like, yeah, it's good guys versus bad guys. This is black and white. I'm like, yeah, I wish I could see it in black and white.
These were CIA guys? Or
yeah, CIA guys.
With military training too?
All but 2 of us had military training.
Did that make a difference? If you had a military background? Is a military background?
I think it did, because all of them were former special forces.
Okay.
And these were guys who were used to sort of pushing the envelope.
Right. They were trained.
You know, and I remember one of them telling me it's better to ask forgiveness later than to ask permission now.
Right. Because
like,
that's that's what you're taught in special forces, right? We have to shoot them or they shoot us and our crew, and it's a different mentality. With all the hype and the 9/11 just happening, and you're over there and the adrenaline, and you're with young guys, man, I'm amazed that even you came up with that conclusion, because there's a lot of psyops going on there, intentional or otherwise, to get you. And I don't know what it was even like locally. It must have been crazy. You're separated, and all of a sudden we're going to do this. Peer pressure. I mean,
there's a lot of that.
Yeah, it must have been hard.
There's a great deal of peer pressure. The night that we captured Abu Zubaydah, we caught so many people that we had to bring them to our safe house in shifts, one paddy wagon at a time, to interrogate them. And the first group of guys that came in all had hoods on. And I told this one idiot that was working for me, I said, why do they have hoods on? He said, we don't want them to see our faces. And I go, it's a war crime. You can't put hoods on them. Like, why am I the only person that knows this? I said, take those hoods off. And he goes, wait a minute. He goes, if you take the hoods off, I'm going to report you to headquarters. And I said, dude, I'm already reporting you to headquarters. You've committed a war crime. And so I took the hoods off, and we reported each other to headquarters, and I got in trouble. And there was a psychiatrist at the CIA who was a great friend of mine. We went to the same church, we were in the same men's group, and we worked in the counterterrorism center together. And he happened to be a 1-star general. And he pulled me aside one day, and he said, you know, they call you the human rights guy. And I said, yeah, I know that. And he said, you know that's not a compliment, right? And I said, Steve, I'm right, and they're wrong. And that's what's going to come out at the end. So, I mean, here we are 22 years later. I can sleep at night. They're sociopaths, so they probably can sleep at night too. But in my heart, I know that I did the right thing.
Right. And so that eventually led to you leaving the CIA, probably?
You know what? It was a part of it, yeah. The other part was that I was newly divorced, and my ex-wife moved to Ohio with our kids. And I wanted to see my kids. They were 8 and 5 at the time. And, you know, little kids need their dad in their lives. And so I began driving to Ohio every other weekend. I never missed a weekend in 11 years, other than the period that I was in Pakistan. So I said, I can't keep this up, because to get promoted into the senior intelligence service, I had to take on a station. And because I had done good work as the executive assistant to the deputy director, they offered me one of 3 stations. And I said, actually, I'd rather do this domestic assignment at the United Nations. And The deputy director said, ooh, he said, that's really not career enhancing at the United Nations. I said, yeah, I know, but I have 20 years ahead of me and my kids need me. So I went to the United Nations. I hated every second of it. But then the Iraq War started and we got bogged down really quickly. And then they started doing what are called directed assignments, where they force you to go to Iraq. I was happy to go to Iraq. I had been there before, but I went to headquarters one day for meetings from New York, and I was at the elevator lobby waiting to take an elevator up, and somebody had posted a flyer in the elevator lobby for a class that was being held, and it was called Raising Your Children in a War Zone. And I remember standing there looking at that flyer and thinking, I quit. I'm not doing this.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not gonna regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.